Pride Daily.
Oh, hello you. I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, deviant culture. First though, queer performer Magda Szubanski says she's now in remission from stage 4 blood cancer. The Australian actress and comedian, who's best known for her roles in the sitcom Kath and Kim and the Babe and Happy Feet films, has the rare and aggressive mantle cell lymphoma. Magda's posted a video to say she's completed chemotherapy.
Phew. Big relief. It's not a cure, but because I got a good remission, that hopefully means that I'll have, keep the cancer at bay for a good long time.
She's also been saying thank you for everyone's love and support.
It was just like a tsunami coming at me, and honestly, I swear to God, it helped me not only emotionally, I think it really helped me physically too. I felt so loved up and cared for.
The 64-year-old came out as lesbian in 2012. Stars posting their love for her include Richard E. Grant, Natalie Imbruglia and Dawn French.
Pride Daily.
Next, the term LGBTQ+ should be replaced with deviant culture, so says a government minister in Malaysia. Bigot Muhammad Rosli reckons this would help stop algorithms on social media promoting queer content and avoid normalisation. Amnesty International Malaysia says the Deputy Religious Affairs Minister's legitimising violence, hatred and discrimination. No time to tell you that. Part 1. A couple of things to mop up from last week that kept getting bumped. Transgender people in Kansas are being ordered to hand back their driving licences if they don't reflect their assigned sex at birth. A new law's been brought in there by culture war clown politicians. And queer people in Europe are being targeted more and more through criminalisation and censorship, if you go by the annual report from advocacy group ILGA Europe. A separate study flags up a sharp rise in violations of LGBTQ+ rights in Turkey.
Pride Daily.
And the parade route for Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras has been added to Australia's National Heritage List. Thousands of people walked the 2-kilometre stretch on Saturday as this year's event drew to a close. Means the route's now got the same status as Bondi Beach, Sydney Opera House and the Great Barrier Reef. No time to tell you that. Part 2. A register of queer-friendly doctors has been launched in Cyprus to help people access inclusive health providers. And transgender model Vivian Jenna Wilson's been hitting the catwalk for Gucci in Italy. Her transphobic father Elon Musk may be considered the world's worst advert for plastic surgery.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, the rainbow plaque is back. First though, a woman jailed in Morocco for wearing a t-shirt saying Allah is lesbian has won an award for her bravery in protesting. LGBTQ+ and feminist activist Betty Lakgar's doing 2.5 years for offending Islam. She wore the top in London last summer after 2 lesbians got the death sentence in Iran. The 50-year-old's been given the Avijit Roy Courage Award by the Freedom from Religion Foundation, which honours critical thinkers. Mariam Namazi is an Iranian human rights activist.
If you want to live in a society where you can say what you think without fear, it's people like Betty, as you mentioned, who open that space up. And when the question comes up about, well, she shouldn't have done it this way. Well, it's none of your f***ing business how she did it, because that's her freedom of expression.
The phrase on Betty's t-shirt was a play on a French anti-racism slogan. Meanwhile, she remains at risk of needing a left arm amputated because surgery she was due to have has been blocked while she's in prison.
Pride Daily.
Next, the gender-critical views of a UK health official have come back to bite him on the bum. We think it's because of Professor Jacob George. A puberty blockers trial has been paused, but he's going to have no more say on this moving forward over concerns he might be a wee bit biased. Online posts from last year show him calling his ideological soulmate, Harry Potter's wicked grandma, a treasure of our time, and implying people who aren't gender critical are idiots.
Pride Daily.
And a rainbow plaque's been reinstated at the site of the fictional South London laundrette featured in queer film classic My Beautiful Laundrette. It broke new ground in the 1980s for how it covered an interracial gay relationship between Johnny and Omar, played by Daniel Day-Lewis and Gordon Warneck. The plaque first went up in 2021, but got damaged by construction work and the weather. No time to tell you that. Transgender children in California can now be outed to their parents by teachers, thanks to a legal win for Bible bashers at America's Supreme Court. US Rugby's banned trans women from female competition and created a third open category alongside men's and women's. And the Lyft taxi app's offering transgender people in Kansas half-price rides. It's after the state invalidated all driving licenses if they don't reflect an individual's sex assigned at birth.
Queer Family Podcast.
If you've ever felt like your family didn't fit the traditional mold, this show is for you. I'm Jamie, host of the Queer Family Podcast. And every week we highlight LGBTQIA+ families and the beautiful, unique ways we build and show up for our families in a world that wasn't designed for us. We celebrate, highlight, uplift, and normalize queer families because our stories deserve center stage. New episodes every Monday. Listen wherever you get your pods.
Love is love on the Queer Family Podcast. Love is love.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGraw. Coming up, an LGBTQ+ first for India. We'll kick off with this though. A prominent anti-transgender psychiatrist in Queensland, Australia is being banned by the health regulator from discussing gender on social media. Dr. Andrew Amos campaigns against trans healthcare and opposes inclusive language in schools, with Twitter posts referencing gender delusions and people identifying as non-binary unicorns. He's also said transgender women look like wolves in sheep's clothing, while trans men look like sheep in wolves' clothing. Here's a bit more of an insight into his mindset, courtesy of Newsmax Australia.
It's undeniably true that there are only two sexes and it is impossible to change sex. Overwhelming majorities of Western populations know instinctively that it's not true that sex can be changed.
Citation needed. The regulators also banned Amos from having direct clinical contact with any patients. And the icing on the cake, would you believe he's pro-conversion therapy?
Pride Daily.
Next, India looks set to get its first queer Member of Parliament. Menaka Guruswamy, who's a lesbian serving on the country's Supreme Court, has been nominated to the upper house. Elections due in the next fortnight. The 51-year-old played a part in the decriminalisation of homosexuality in India back in 2018.
Pride Daily.
And Jennifer Garner says Love, Simon's the most important film she's ever made. The 53-year-old played the mum of a schoolboy coming out as gay in the 2018 story and reckons she struggles to talk about it without getting emotional. Says she had to be a part of the movie because of its positive message, and her joining the cast actually helped to get the film funded.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGraw. Coming up, why we're feeling pretty kinky. First though, the 0-year-old fairy otter who's a massive transgender ally. Cheetan's the self-declared unofficial mascot of the city of Susaki in Japan, a character known for its chaotic viral videos. But as well as the stunts, its millions and millions of followers see regular posts supporting trans people who Cheetan says are family. John Oliver from HBO's Last Week Tonight can tell us a bit more about this simply marvellous mammal.
Cheetan is a giant otter wearing a turtle as a hat. I know that he may look like half a Vienna finger that took too much ecstasy in the 90s, but Cheetan is, in his own words, a 0-year-old fairy baby who plays around super actively every day.
Cheetan also says it cherishes transgender people and hopes they can live their lives with pride and happiness.
Pride Daily.
Next, a gay comic book artist known for his work with Marvel Comics has died at the age of 48. Jacopo Camagni from northern Italy illustrated the likes of Deadpool, the X-Men and Star Wars, amongst many others. He was also an LGBTQ+ activist and set up the Gilda del Casero in Bologna, where he's from, an inclusive space for gamers. Jacopo died on Sunday following complications from heart surgery.
Pride Daily.
And Italy's first LGBTQ+ nightclub is the focus of a new documentary. Kinky, with an I at the end, was born in 1975 and initially had a men-only policy, same as me, but I've maintained mine. It was described as a theatre of experimentation and transgression. Even back then, it had 3 bathrooms for men, women and ex, forward-thinking. Kinky closed down in 2018. The documentary premieres on Prime this Saturday.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, it's the end of the line for a bisexual shrine. First though, imagine a world where you can just say, I don't accept my punishment. Well, that's the response of an Australian politician off the back of his homophobic, racist, sexist and ableist social media posts. United Australia Party Senator Ralph Babet has refused to take sensitivity training after using some of the most offensive insults, including the F word that rhymes with maggot. Basically, he's yet another attention-seeking culture war clown, but don't just take my word for it.
Sydney's gay and lesbian Mardi Gras has devolved into debauchery on steroids. No self-respecting civilization should allow such public displays of degeneracy. Sydney is a family city, not a circus tent. The gay and lesbian Mardi Gras should be banned.
Oh, say it again, you brute. Babet's repeatedly voted against increased legal protections for queer people and gender-affirming care. He could still face a fine of up to 5% of his wages or be suspended from Parliament.
Pride Daily.
Next, South African queer entertainer Solly Philander has died at the age of 65. His career spanned decades, covering TV, radio, theatre and film, and he'd been due to portray transgender icon Granny Lee in a movie shooting in Johannesburg. Solly was also an advocate for marginalised communities, including transgender people. He'd been diagnosed with cancer.
Pride Daily.
And a shrine to a bisexual character from Doctor Who spin-off Torchwood is being dismantled after 17 years. The tribute to Yanto Jones sprung up at one of the show's filming locations in Cardiff in Wales when the character was killed off back in 2009. It features artwork, photos, flowers and handwritten notes from fans, but health and safety concerns mean the shrine finally has to go. Doctor Who do they think they are? There's more on our socials at Pride Daily Pod, including any breaking news. That's your lot. I'll see you next week.